Support for Iowa Catholic Radio and Making It Personal is provided by Sarah Vocations Ministry. Learn more at joinserra.org.
Making It Personal with Bishop William Joensen on Iowa Catholic Radio and iowacatholicradio.com.
Welcome to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen. I'm Jeanne Thill. On today's show, we're visiting with Catie Wilwerding. She's a senior at Dowling Catholic, and she was a speaker at the National Catholic Youth Conference.
We're just happy she could make time for us here.
I know.
mean, this woman is in demand. So
I'm like, man, I thought it was cool to be in show choir. I didn't get to ever speak at anything.
Oh, you've made up for it, Jeanne.
Oh, I
You've
have.
spoken in many ways.
They can't shut me up now.
You find venues to speak, so good. We love your voice, Jeanne.
Well, thank you.
Especially at the Holy Hour on Mondays at 5 p.m.
you.
at St. Ambrose Cathedral. So
Join us every week.
I don't think we're taking a pause through the Christmas feast. That's all the more reason to gather and adore our Lord, our Eucharistic Lord. So it's a wonderful thing. Sometimes it's an intimate group. Sometimes it swells to 50 or more people. So it's a wonderful thing.
It's always fun. It's always a surprise. I'm like, oh, is Bishop having a meeting with a group after this? Because those people, they're all involved in whatever.
You're not from here. Right?
Yeah, you're not. You are not a regular. You're sitting in so-and-so's pew.
So parochial. So welcoming. We welcome all, right?
We do.
All right. Well, good. Well, here we are on the cusp of the great Christmas feast, the Feast of the Incarnation. But let's not rush and accelerate. Let's savor these days of Advent, fourth weekend.
It's so hard.
Oh, really?
It's so hard.
You're still like a child, Jeanne.
Well, it's not so much the anticipation, it's the to-do list.
Oh.
You know, that you want to be preparing for Christmas, but the list seems to get longer as opposed to shorter.
Well, I could say that. But for me, it's not so much baking or decorating or even buying gifts, really. I think I go the simple route on that. But
I do online anymore.
Do you? Yeah,
that's
wonderful. Well, that's wonderful. And that keeps our UPS and FedEx and USPS drivers happy. So wonderful. No, I think for me, and again, through the wonders of technology, spending time, as is the custom, the fourth weekend of Advent at the Bishop's Vocations Retreat at the Jesuit Retreat Center in Griswold. It's just a quiet refuge. And, the stillness with the cold and everything else, but men coming to join us who are open, their hearts are open, maybe a little rumbling of the prospect of priesthood. And so seniors on up to the guys in their 20s. And, this is something that happens here. I get a chance to chat individually with each of them. Some of our seminarians and younger priests, Father Max Carson, Father Reed Flood, give witness. And thanks, of course, to Father Ross Parker, our vocation director, who makes time for that. The people at St. Mary Elkhart are willing to share him with us during that weekend. So the hospitality in the chapel there, I love, especially Sunday morning, praying there silently and the little pink fingers of the clouds as the sun is coming up, poking through. It's almost like a Gaudete Sunday made by nature. So it's just a beautiful thing. So, and then, of course, the run-up, I got to give a shout-out to St. John of Conti, December 23rd. Kind of obscure to many, John Concius Church in Chicago, of course, and the canons there. But a philosopher, theologian, priest in Krakow, Jagiellonian University.
Is he a saint? He
is a saint.
Okay, not
just a saint.
A blessed.
15th century into the 16th century, so on the cusp of some things that were happening in the church, maybe the Reformation, but that didn't touch Poland until later. So, but kind of a devotion to him at St. Anne's Church, and may he intercede for me and for all who teach in our Catholic schools and universities and Mercy College of Health Sciences, all that is there. And, of course, then Christmas, and we give way right away to the Feast of St. Stephen, the great witness and deacon. Yes. Thanks to our deacons, permanent deacons in our diocese, and those who are in formation for the diaconate. And the turn of the year will bring us the call has gone out. We are going to have probably our first concurrent class of deacons in formation.
That's awesome.
Aspirants, we would call them. So we have 18 men presently, and then another 20, I think, are likely to enter into this. And it's quite a commitment with their spouses if they're married. The study, the formation, the priesthood, the kind of humility that happens here to kind of enter into the life of the mind as well as the heart and the soul. So we pray that St. Stephen will intercede for them. He who offered that ultimate witness as St. Then Saul, soon to be St. Paul, looked on.
Well, with that, don't go anywhere, folks, because we have Catie Wilwerding joining us. She's a senior at Dowling Catholic. She was a speaker at the National Catholic Youth Conference. I could go on and on. It's like awesome.
We'll let her go on.
Yeah, we'll let her go on. You're listening to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network and the Spirit Catholic Radio Network. Welcome back to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen. On today's show, we're visiting with Catie Wilwerding, belongs to Holy Trinity in Des Moines, a senior at Dowling Catholic, and a speaker at the National Catholic Youth Conference.
She doesn't need to pad her resume. She's already got many, many things. Catie, thank you for being with us today. So wonderful. And you have this look of tranquility and peace. You've survived another semester of a final exam.
I was going to say, the finals are done.
As a senior, do you even get a little anxious or revved up on this? Or is it just, I've been there, done that? We'll get through this, Lord.
A little nervous for the hard finals, but I don't think I have as much stress as I did my freshman year going into finals.
Okay. All right. So what would be a hard final?
AP Environmental Science was my hard one this semester.
Ooh, yeah. So Laudato Si, baby. Yeah. Care for our common home. So, wow, good. And your teacher in that course?
Mr. Ryan Lenson.
All right. Oh, wonderful. So thank you.
The course offerings that the kids have the opportunity to take. I mean, 50 years ago, it's like when you're a freshman, you take this, you're a sophomore, junior. You just didn't have choices. And now it's beautiful, the things that they can take.
Yeah, and you're sitting here adorned in a Creighton University sweatshirt. I'm sure our Spirit Catholic Radio listeners are happy about that. Accepted to Creighton, and that's where your heart is. Headed west, young woman.
That's awesome, Catie.
Yeah.
Majoring in?
Chemistry and theology.
Okay, all right. So will the environmental science as an AP course, will you get credit for that likely at Creighton?
Most likely, but we'll see. They get a little sticky on the pre-med track about science classes transferring because they want you to take Creighton science classes. Okay,
well, and I can see that, a little provincialism, that's not a guarantee. If they're making some guarantees to you, aren't they, in terms of your health science profession and where you want to go with this. What's that all about?
It's you apply, so I still have to submit that application over Christmas break. And
you've been accepted.
I've been accepted into the university, but not the pre-med program just yet.
Okay.
And then if you get accepted into that, you have a conditional admittance into the medical school. So keep up good grades through your undergrad, do well on the MCAT, and you're in.
All right. Yeah.
Piece of cake.
Check it off. All right. Good. But you're a woman with many interests and passions. I think I met you as a young altar server at Holy Trinity, maybe the first time, and it was just obvious to me. She's on top of it. She wasn't, you weren't bossing the other servers around, but you could see who the leader was, right? Have you always felt like you're a leader?
Yeah. Came kind of naturally. But I will say sometimes I like to slip back and let other people take charge and see where that leads to.
At least for a minute or two.
And let their gifts come to the surface too, right? Yeah, I kind of bring them forward. So good. You have one older brother, right? Yes. Okay. I guess he's quite the triathlete, right? So yeah. Do you like to do anything on the physical side of things?
Cheer and swim. I don't do the triathlons like he does. But.
Okay. But swimming. Wonderful. Are you distance or sprint?
Sprint.
Okay, so all the fast twitch fibers then. And do you still swim for the fun of it, or not competitively, or?
Every now and again.
Okay, all right.
And Bishop, don't discount cheer like it's not a real sport.
I wasn't, just because I focused on the swimming, Jeanne.
I just wanted to make sure, because the athleticism it takes to do some of the things that the cheer squad does is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and the core strength and everything like that, right? And mainly cheering for wrestling, is that correct? Or okay, wonderful.
Oh, well, now that we can discount that one. They're just sitting on the side, pounding the mat. Just kidding.
At Dowling, everyone does football, and then you split in the winter and do basketball or wrestling. And I do wrestling. So we had a nice wrestling meet last night.
My impression of wrestling cheerleaders, they're sitting cross-legged for a lot. Do you ever get cramps sitting cross-legged?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. The story's out here.
About the time we stand up because one guy's finished, we're switching legs to avoid some serious cramps.
The tricks of the trade. Okay. All right, good. Well, a young woman of faith, and this has kind of drawn you into different things. Has that always been something, in your family, or are you an outlier in any way?
No, it's my whole family. We're a mass every Sunday. Even on vacation, my dad would pull up mass times and we'd find a parish to go to. So that was kind of just the preset of our family, is that was the expectation. And if you couldn't make 10:30 Mass at Holy Trinity, where were you going to go instead? Mm-hmm. And I think that just kind of set me up for a good foundation.
Okay. So obviously Mass and the Eucharist is central to our faith, source and summit. But not just, okay, we fulfilled our obligation there, right? Did your parents, Jim and Gigi, I mean, your mom obviously involved in faith formation, confirmation at Holy Trinity, but she too is her path is evolving as well. So we can talk about that in a moment. But did it kind of shape how things you talked about at home, or whether you had dinners together or not?
We definitely had dinners together. I also say that about any question that we had about the faith, we asked on long car rides. We have lots of family in Omaha, so on that way, my brother and I would ask our parents all the questions. So now it's funny to have conversations with my friends when they're asking questions, and it's something I can answer and be like, yeah, I talked about that when I was 10 years old in the car with my dad.
And it stayed with you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're kind of the go-to woman then for some of these questions.
Sometimes.
Yeah. You're in one of the small faith-sharing groups there. It used to be called Ut Fidem, now Serba Fidem, in service of the faith. Tell me about that experience.
I love it. I'm in a group with my best friends. Our mentor is Mary Pawnee. She's a 4th grade teacher.
At St. Teresa's.
Uh-huh.
At St. Teresa's.
Okay, we're going to get a plug in there.
At St. Teresa's. And so we meet once a week and we talk about our faith. And we start each meeting with our high of the week, our low of the week, and our God moment. So.
Is it hard to come up with that sometimes?
Sometimes. We kind of fight for who has to go first and gets put on the spot.
Yeah.
But
okay. Yeah. But has it made you more attuned to where God's hand is at work? God's kind of surprising and breaking into situations? Or are you onto him?
I'd say I'm definitely more keen than I was when we started doing it.
Wonderful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that kind of spiritual perception there, that sixth sense.
We should all do that.
Yeah. And the trust that's built up among you women, you Dowling Maroon women then, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, wonderful. But it's not just Q&A, and it's not catechesis per se, where, the ascent of faith and then we instruction and teaching in that way, right? It's just, how does this impact my life?
Yeah, and it's a lot more, I'd say, discussion-based in the small groups than it is like, let's have someone talk and teach you something. It's more learning through discussion.
Okay, all right.
Kind of like the car rides.
Yeah.
Those car rides, I think, because your folks have to keep their eyes on the road, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're in the back seat, you can ask a question and, they can't, give you the mom look, like, why are you asking that one for? And it really kind of opens up an opportunity to have good conversation without feeling like you're being judged, like you shouldn't be asking those questions. You never had that experience?
Oh, no, we asked a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And my mom will say, I always want to really ask a lot of questions. And, some questions you can't just answer right away, right? You have to sit and live with the question for a while, right? Yeah. Part of the mystery. So, but as a theology major, in addition to health sciences, hopefully you'll be able to unfold this even more. But good. So this attraction to the National Youth Advisory Council. Tell us what that is and what drew you and what did it take?
The National Youth Advisory Council teaches young people to be protagonists of their faith while influencing NCYC shareholders. And I learned about it my freshman year at NCYC in Long Beach, California. They had just gotten back.
Wait a minute, you went somewhere besides Indianapolis?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've gone to NCYC all 4 years of high school.
And not as big a contingent from the Des Moines Diocese in Long Beach, right?
No, that was, I think, the first year it was a group from St. Albert's, and then Holy Trinity and St. Teresa's brought a group. Okay,
St. Albert Catholic School in Council Bluffs, where I was yesterday for much of the day. All right, so the NCYC experience, and then to be protagonists of your faith. Unpack that for us.
We did a lot of discernment process. We all were tasked with doing a project to impact our local community. So kind of walking through a discernment process with a group of people and learning that process. I think that's also something a lot of times we talk about, but it's never really taught how to go about that. So we went through that also.
And this was help facilitated by somebody?
Yes.
Okay.
It was facilitated. They have a couple chairs, the main of which is Vicky Hathaway out of the Diocese of Gary, Indiana.
Whom I was privileged to encounter there at NCYC this year, too. Is this Midwest heavy, or, I mean, what's the representation on the NIAC, the New National Youth Advisory Council?
It was a little bit of everyone. We had a couple from California. I was the only one from Iowa, a couple from Ohio, one from Texas, Indiana, New York, Rhode Island.
Yeah, diverse.
Oh, okay. Any from the Pacific Northwest or not?
There's a couple that I'm forgetting where they're from, and they might be.
Okay, well,
They're going to call in and
listening here. Hey, what am I to you? So truly national, cross-section representative. So you had some discernment. Where did that lead?
For me, that led to restarting Teens Encounter Christ retreat in the Diocese of Des Moines.
Oh, piece of cake. Just a little project.
Were you weighing different possibilities, and you that's where you ended up?
Throughout the process, that was kind of had been put on my heart from before I got appointed to the council. I had went on a tech weekend in Moline, Illinois, and I kind of knew that was something I wanted to bring back. And so I was weighing that versus some other ideas that would be smaller and less work heavy my junior year of high school.
Yeah.
Between prudence and ambition, you went big, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Teens Encounter Christ, a national movement, also international probably, but usually a kind of retreat weekend. We don't want to give away too much to listeners, but there's probably a little bit not high school audience, mainly for us. And often geared towards seniors, but you've kind of discerned that maybe there's another place to land.
We're focusing on juniors in high school, just because they're going through a huge discernment process, lots of high school decisions, and where you want to go after high school are starting your junior year. And so just that kind of thing and getting to encounter Christ. Also in the Diocese of Des Moines, we have sushi pay for seniors. So our whole was kind of that junior retreat.
Okay, so Suscipe, accept Lord, the prayer of St. Ignatius of Loyola, so the title on that. Is this, Teens Encounter Christ? Well, haven't they encountered Christ before? Or how would you accent this? And maybe speaking with, retaining some of the mystery, but unfolding it a little bit for us.
It's, I would say, encountering Christ in a new way. There's time for Eucharistic adoration and encountering Christ through the sacraments. But something that I find profound is encountering Christ through the adult people that are there, just giving up their time and weekend to be with the young people. And they are really Jesus with skin on for the young people.
Jesus with skin on. I like that.
Yeah. So they're not like your parents, although maybe your parents have been involved at times, but just that these people are committed to this and they want this for you. And they're not imposing it on you, right? They're trying to open something up. Do they give witness, or is it more peer witness, or
more adult witness, but with some peer witness sprinkled in? But definitely more focused on the adults ministering to the young people.
Okay.
So, Katie, at the high school, don't we have like Kairos and some other things? Are they similar? Are they different? Are they okay? Did I open a can of worms?
I've been on both.
Have you mastered the secret handshake yet, Jeanne?
Oh, no. They didn't have Kairos back then, 100 years ago.
Kairos is just at Dowling. It was at St. Albert's. And so just opening that retreat door to the young people of the Diocese of Des Moines that don't go to either of those two high schools.
Okay.
And opening up a retreat opportunity for them.
That's awesome.
They are very similar retreats, but also... every retreat is on the basis of taking time away from your daily life with the Lord. I've been on both. I think you can do both and get a lot out of doing both.
It's not just been there, done that then, right?
No.
Because Jesus is now, right?
Yeah.
As the Pope said, right? You young people are the now of God, right? So, yeah, we need to talk about that after the break coming up as well. But so the discernment, and thank you, because that's really one of our priorities in the diocese, is to enhance the retreat culture here, to provide those moments of encounter. All ages, but certainly for the younger people as well, when it's a critical time where so much is happening and the little things have profound difference on life path and vocation and all that's there. So the death, the resurrection of Jesus and all that's there, that mystery playing out every day for us. So,
Bishop, we need to take a break. I know. But
thanks to the Sarans.
Yeah, thanks to the Sarah Club, St. Sarah Club of Des Moines and Sarah Club of Council Bluffs. But we'll be back with Catie Wilwerding, a senior at Dowling Catholic and the speaker at the National Catholic Youth Conference. To find out more about the National Youth Advisory Council for the National Federation of Catholic Youth Ministry, that's kind of a mouthful, but go online to nfcym.org. That's nfcym.org, and search Youth Advisory Council. You're listening to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network and the Spirit Catholic Radio Network. Welcome back to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen.
So the discernment of the project, and thank you. And so tech is happening now in the Diocese of Des Moines. If some of the adults have young people that they love and they want them to have such an encounter, how would they go about it? How would they find out more information?
The sign up and more information is on St. Thomas More Center's website, and that'll give you all the information of dates of the weekends coming up and the expectations.
All right.
So is tech during the school year, or is it during the summer?
During the school year, because it's housed at St. Thomas More Center.
Makes sense. Okay.
Which is also the home of Catholic Youth Camp.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, which we love, having the year-round opportunities here. So maybe permission from school, right, even a public school, to miss something of Monday, right?
Yeah.
It's because it does roll into the Monday there. And, for very good reason. So excellent. St. Thomas More Center website, right, there at Lake Panorama. Or in any place where electronic.
That's right.
You're on the main stage. Why? At NCYC in Indianapolis and in another breakout session. So you were a busy woman.
Yeah. The National Youth Advisory Council in August took a synodal delegation to Ghana, Africa. So we were sharing that on the main stage.
So a synodal delegation. So the whole thing with Pope Francis and the church is to be synodal, that we are to accompany each other along the way.
I never even knew that word when I was at senior high
That's
school.
Greek to me. But anyway, so you accompanied each other and then accompanied people that you came to encounter, right? Tell us more.
It was a partnership with NCYC and Catholic Relief Services. So while we were in the country of Ghana, we were visiting different Catholic Relief Services work sites and meeting with and talking to the people that they serve and seeing the broad width of the way they serve the people and how they serve those needs of the Catholic Church.
For instance?
I want an example.
This is not a promotion for Catholic Relief Services, but I think sometimes people don't appreciate how well, one of the largest bodies serving, bringing aid and lifting up people.
Yes, we went to a refugee camp 2 hours south of the border with Burkina Faso and met with people who had fled their country. Was one of the visits. We went to a high school and saw the WASH, or Hygiene and Sanitation program, and saw what those high school students were doing there.
Public high school, parochial high school?
It was a mix of both. There were 3 different high schools.
Okay.
So that was cool to see. We went to a health clinic that is a partnership with an early childhood development center. We met with their Catholic youth organization in Tamale. So got to meet with young people, and there we got to meet in small groups with young people. So it was cool to interact with the young church there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you felt a certain connection, a certain solidarity with them? Hey, it's the same Holy Spirit. Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
The same Jesus that you're meeting. And because I know you were gracious in speaking to the Bishop's Council, thank you very much for that. You did a wonderful job. Now you're big buds with Archbishop Perez, right, of Philadelphia.
Yeah. He is the Episcopal moderator for NFCYM and was the chair of Catholic Relief Services. So it was kind of his idea to go to Ghana with the young church. And he went with us and said Mass every day while we were in Ghana. And it was a great way to like unpack the day because it was normally in the evening. And his just unpacking that together through the holy sacrifice of the Mass.
Oh. Did he ask you any questions, or did you ask him any questions? Continuing our theme that we began with.
Sometimes he did. Sometimes his homilies he'd be asking us what we saw and what we were feeling.
Wow. Well, we're getting to that time, and I hope you enjoy some days just to savor this mystery of Christmas, the Incarnation, and all that follows with it, to adore and to bring that forward. Thank you for the way you bring Jesus to others with tech and beyond at Dowling Catholic, and those who maybe are looking for some sign of hope. You're a great sign of that for us as well. Have a great last semester, and I certainly hope to cross paths with you, and maybe then offer you a handshake when you come across the stage at commencement next May. So blessings to you and your family.
Thank you.
This has been another edition of Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen. Thanks to our guest and to all of our listeners, whether in Iowa, Nebraska, or anywhere in the Midwest. Thanks for listening to the Iowa Catholic Radio Network and the Spirit Catholic Radio Network.
You can hear Making It Personal with Bishop William Joensen every week on Iowa Catholic Radio and iowacatholicradio.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio and Making It Personal is provided by Sarah Vocations Ministry. Learn more at joinserra.org.